from hypnotherapy, we talk a lot about the brainwave state. And when you're in a high vigilant brainwave state, you can't take in new information. So here I am, so stressed out, trying to figure it out, making myself wrong every time a limiting word or belief comes out of my mouth. And that just raises my vigilance. It's like now that I finally had a little rest, it's okay, my vigilant system is here so that I actually can change these things too. Hello, everyone, and welcome. And thank you for the birthday wishes.
Woohoo!
I'm Jeneth Blackert.
And I'm Bianca Reyna.
And this is the Haute Hustle Mystic Morning Show. Today we're talking about whispers, wobbles, and wild dreams.
That's right.
This should be an interesting one because I feel even as an advanced hypnotherapist, as an advanced practitioner of this energy work, there's still earth and miles that I have just uncovered and unleashed due to my own overwhelm, chaos, and me trying to freaking rush every single thing in my life, which yesterday, when I really got a chance to slow down, became quite different.
So you've got some stuff to uncover for us.
Yeah.
And I'll share my own experiences with that too. I think people learn through experiences. This will be a really interesting conversation, and we're going to get really vulnerable, everyone. So grab a seat. But before we do that, I've got a little bit of mystic space weather news. Why stress makes your body shine brighter? Why does it make your body shine brighter? And does it, right? Isn't that interesting?
No.
Do I shine brighter? No.
It makes you.
According to Popular Mechanics, scientists recently did a study to find out why this is. Actually, it does. And it says all humans secretly glow in the dark. Scientists say when that stops, your life is over. Isn't that interesting? So
we literally are light.
I know. That's exactly what I read. Because I think about when I channeled Archangel Michael, and he says, you are light beings. Bring that into the light. Use that as a divine shield. He also talks about how we can use our light in order to help others awaken. And so that's really what we try to do here with this show as well. Let me give you a couple, a little bit more insights about this. It says, why the hidden light shines brighter under stress. And scientists have discovered that living things release weak photon emissions that are too dim to see, but still part of the visible light spectrum. The real mystery, what's causing them. It says to find out, scientists ran groundbreaking tests on mice, plants, to directly measure the photons emissions for the first time. They found that the glow isn't coming from light sources like heat or chemical reactions, but rather from a process deep within the living organisms, all the way down to the subatomic level. It also says that stress-related changes at the cellular level play a crucial role in that photon emission. The Journal of Physical Chemistry Letters, it's also went on to say it's a breakthrough finding that could have huge implications for how we monitor our health, including diagnosing injury. Again, all the things that we've always been hypothesizing or we've been channeling and information, but now science is finally coming around and letting us know that we are truly light beings, and why we might weigh a little bit more when, or our weight changes when we die. So when you think about yourself and you remember that you are infinite being of light, and that most of you is connected to source, and that you can rely on that connected to source self, because we only bring a little bit of it into our bodies. Otherwise, we blow our bodies out with all this energy. And we're energy. Isn't that cool?
Love that.
But we can go deep within and always ask our higher self connected to source. We're all connected, right? But that didn't come all the way in to give us much more guidance as we traverse through this matrix. My words, not the scientist, but just wanted to give you that thought. I found it super inspiring. What I got for today's Mystic Space Weather News.
Fabulous. Last weekend, I was like, I'm stressed out about this. I'm stressed out about that. In most cases, I just roll and I'm really present with it and just do what needs to be done and I just even enjoy this work.
And I want people to understand that it wasn't necessarily about the wedding that's coming up.
It wasn't on anything, which was like, okay, my nervous system is just having stress. It wasn't really
About the business, because that's the one thing I heard you talk about.
I know, but I think my nervous system just got up and then I made it about whatever showed up.
You're right. But at the time when you were feeling really stressed, I was like, oh no, something's going on. Like she's feeling really overwhelmed with the business. And that can happen, right? I want people to understand that that's totally normal and we have ebbs and flows.
So I just started navigating this in a really weird way. Some of you witnessed it on Tuesday's show with Katie. And I still wasn't really out of it. Yesterday was like, you know what? I am putting all my technology to the side. And I just went radio silent. And I had about 45 text messages, happy birthday, things like that I addressed in the evening. It's funny, I watched Stephen Colbert interviewed Jimmy Fallon. And one of the guys that texted them both, that was like a really warm message. They're like, I bet he cut and paste that. And that's how a lot of my thank yous went out for my birthday. I just wanted to respond to everyone. And when I got to my phone and started doing, that was like the first little glimpse back into the reference of, wow, my vigilance system's going up again.
Really?
Yep. I had listened to this man that talked about how we train our brains to not focus because of the constant scrolling and I don't.
Oh, shoot. Wow.
And it made me think that I am actually more addicted to technology than I realize.
That's fascinating.
To the point that when I'm away from doing things, whether it's on the computer, I have screens going way too much these days. We have all these lights on, we have this show, but then I also have needless screens, like gaming screens. I really decided that it's time for a digital detox and being really present and really aware, because I feel that is the number one thing that is amping up my belief system.
What do y'all think?
Yeah. But so, like in Katie's show, I've actually hit a moment that I remember when I worked directly with Dr. Dane here. And he was doing some body work on my back in 2011. And he said it in such a really present, connected way. It wasn't just, who does this belong to? It was, who does this belong to, right? Now, it just might seem like that's a change in tone, but in this case, it was really, truly a change in frequency. So now when I look at these things and go, interesting point of view that my nervous system is raising around this technology, I go, okay, that's a limiting point of view. We talked a little bit about it with Katie. Okay, great. Destroy and uncreate everything that is. I mean, sometimes I guess it can be if it's a little tiny thing, but there's a reason behind it. So I started saying, okay, what is it about what I'm seeing on this in particular that is making my system start this engine? It's almost like an adrenal pump. All of the social media is trying to hook you into something, sell you something. You watch the things that are really hooky.
If we do trainings on it, we're like, oh, you need a hook. Oh my gosh. If I didn't have to do social media for business, I wouldn't probably. I'd probably just have a couple cat videos. That's it.
And I think that this conversation on really us looking at why we are choosing the things we're choosing and look at the step past that. What questions might you ask past that? So in my daughter's case, she could simply come up with, oh, I scroll on social media because I'm bored. But bored is a condition of something way deeper, to the point that makes me go, truth, are you really bored?
Oh, it's funny because I took that word out of my vocabulary because my dad used to say, he goes, if you say you're bored, then it's you that's boring. So I was like, oh man, I'm really boring.
That's probably a good.
So I never said bored. I was like, because I used to kids always, I'm bored. And my dad told me, he was like, if you say you're bored, it's you that's boring.
I do think that's the case.
Because I didn't go find something to do. as a kid, but yeah,
It's like I want a different life, so I'm just going to look at people that have different lives on social media.
Yeah, interesting.
With our personal development, we hear the word limiting belief and we're like, nope, I'm done with that.
The idea that you think that you're done with something, especially if you feel like you're teaching on something, and then it stays very high level. Again, that's something that we were addressing with Katie, where it's, oh, we put something outside of ourselves. Like, I got to solve this.
It's funny because we're working to put together this really true money mastery with the frequency course for next year, really from some of our background with hypnotherapy. And when doing so and looking at it, I'm realizing a lot of my limiting beliefs around time, money, control, those big buckets are coming up. And it makes me go, okay, each of these buckets, there's growth and there's change. And I don't have to be perfect around it, but I do have to see how we can unearth the next.
Like I said, I wouldn't want to be teaching on something that I myself, not that I have to experience it all, but it does come from a place of, if someone has an issue or someone says, no, I can't view myself with that amount of money because I grew up in poverty, I can speak to that. And then I can speak to walking away from a corporate job to very little in income that I was used to start a business. And I can speak to the uncertainty and the unworthiness that comes with it. Really, I wouldn't want to learn from someone that hadn't had those experiences, or at least did enough research to be able to have compassion for where people are. So I think that's definitely where my guides have put me.
One of the things that came up, I feel like there's so much that's coming up, and I feel like it's coming up to be brought forth, not just for the list, but really for my own personal transformation. I feel like I'm just going to puddle out and crash for a minute, but I feel like I was like, oh my gosh, not another one. There's so much in my face. And I was making myself so wrong for every one of these limiting constructs. It was just this ongoing misery that I kept going, dude, there is another limiting belief. I
think people can probably relate a little bit more if we actually said
I was going to show. So I was out shopping yesterday for my birthday, and I got to a point where I was at the register and I had, I don't know, 8 or 10 items. And I have these little earrings in, they're little Merkabas, and I almost didn't buy them. And I was like, I'm taking them off the list.
Which are they? I'm curious.
They were $20.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, no, I don't need those. And so I was like, bring up everything else, and I'm just going to hold these aside and settle in with them.
Yeah.
And I bought this like little bottle of mushroom wine, and she was like, we have to card everyone. So she carded me, and it just happened to be on my birthday, and she's happy birthday.
Yeah, cute.
And then she looked me directly in the eye, and this is when I felt like we both connected to the universe in one moment of time. And she said, you deserve to buy whatever you want today. And it just was like, yes, you're right. And yes, that's another message from the universe through somebody else to me.
And why couldn't every day be you deserve to buy whatever you want?
If I choose it and I have the money, and it'll give me a better experience, better joy in my life, getting it. I've reached a point in my life, I now have the money. You're in more of a position. I feel that it's important for us to bring up these conversations so that you guys can really make these shifts, make these changes, and truly go deeper than just, oh, I found another point of view. I'm aware of it now. It's destroyed and uncreated. You've got to get to the awareness of the frequency, right? And you've got to go, okay, is there a lack frequency running with my natural inclination to do conscious spending, is what I call that, or intentional spending, like really pay attention to what you're purchasing. And I do think there's value in that.
I do too.
But there's not value in it when my heart like goes,
yes, that's the thing.
Wrong.
So now let me take it to this side. I had a level of income that was rather large, 6-figure income, whatnot. And I took a step back, and this is the second year in this business. And obviously, we're not paying myself a salary out at that because it's just not the time yet.
Yeah, the business still needs it.
And we brought on more people and stuff like that. Do I miss getting an extra pair of earrings? Sure.
Yeah.
Do I care? Absolutely fucking not. And the reason why is because I know if I didn't have the absolute faith in how I know we create in this reality, that would bother me. Anything where I'm not fully being able to just be like, put it on my card, like that kind of thing, where I had always been accustomed to, I don't care. Because, and I did, let me just say this, it took a lot of processing to get to this place. I cannot operate in this business and still feel that way, because otherwise, I call it block your blessings. Otherwise, I will always have this gap.
Yeah.
And I will only live in the gap. And so but even still, when I walked away, I knew what could be created.
Well, we had done a lot of it before.
Yes,
so we knew what was possible between us.
But when you're walking through it, and I'm saying this for people that are going through the motions, and when you're walking through it, and every day is like a different something, and you're like, oh, and you have that feeling, like a contractedness. For example, I wanted to get my mom a new printer, right? I know that I'm going to have to, and I've never had to do this, but I'll be like, hey, my husband will have to split it with me, whatever that looks like. If something comes from a place that I hadn't budgeted for, I'm like, oh,
yeah.
And the thing that really stays with me is that in my mind, I walk around and I see it as done already, right?
Yeah.
There are things. And there are more times than not now. So we're talking over the last months, y'all, that I finally was like, fuck it.
Yeah, I know. I got to the fuck it point.
Because I was like, it does me no good. And then also I was like, okay, fine. What happens then? Am I going to be taken away in handcuffs or die? No, nothing. Nothing's going to happen to me.
Wouldn't you say that's the next level deeper?
Yes.
Like and I think that's where people don't often go, especially the people that are constantly on the scroll. Let's just call it that. They're constantly on the scroll. There's no depth. There's no depth in a lot of people anymore. And
it's not their fault.
It almost makes me like go, is my work actually working with people that aren't willing to go deeper? They're just like, yes, I'm raising my hand. I
want the magic wand.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why we always bring different speakers. That's why we always talk about the tools. You got to have some really good, like a good toolbox in order. I do tapping, no therapy myself. We've done sessions. I ask questions. I will meditate. I put stuff on. I listen to things at night, subliminal messaging. You name it, I am doing the work, right? I have to pull out. And there are some times where something will just trigger me and I lose it, right? I'm a regular person. But it's far and few between. And to be able to get my nervous system, another message that Archangel Michael really gave to me was that our mission here, in addition to other things, and one of the things that we need to do with Ascension is really get to the place of a crystalline nervous system, light body nervous system. And where that is where you don't have that, where it pings you straight away, even the slightest little pings. And I always talk about like that, how it exists within the matrix and how the quantum entanglements, it's almost like you think about somebody and then it's like ping, and then that little thing goes out straight out to you. And so the closer that we can get to more of a crystalline light body system, a nervous system, is where we can neutralize it. I'm not even saying let's make it better or worse because of the duality. Neutralize those pings and you have somebody's like, oh, you are pulling on my strings. That comes from the figure of speech, comes from the quantum entanglements, and like basically you are getting on my nerves because it's that. But we are so interconnected that even just looking at the doom scrolling, we don't realize that it's already igniting those pings within you. And so, again, when we talk about money, one of the things that I had to get to a place of pretty quickly now, I needed to get there for a long time, but I was not doing things. And or I knew it from a high level. What I do is I know and I visualize the outcome that I most want to have. Not from a place of like make believe. I literally am in that place. And so instead, I'm like, oh, so like I'm sorting through things and little things are like piled up because it's probably been about like 6 months. Instead of like getting mad about it, I am just turning around and saying, gosh, I'm so grateful that I get to work in this business. I get to do what I love for a living. Take what I'm learning, and the mission here for me is, and bring this to other women, men, people that want to get free with their money. And that's one way that we're going to get and grow in the society and not have these limitations on us is by creating our own financial outcomes. And for that reason, I'm like, I got this. Let me troop through. And so I just see it as done. I see it as done. I see the things that the people that we're helping really helps me get through. But you have to remember in order to get there. I just wanted to really break it down from the other perspective.
Kind of not a mystical conversation like some of the ones we have, but I think this is an important one because I think at the end of the day, it really comes down to the choice and really getting really present on intentional living, no matter what you want in your life. What life do you want? What do you want to choose? And I think it was like 11:30 at night when I wrote up the email last night, and I was just inspired. And I was like, look, there's no necessity for us to make a wrongness around anything that we have as what we declare as a limiting belief. One of the limiting beliefs that I just noticed that was a baby one yesterday was this new therapist I went to for a 2-hour massage yesterday.
Nice.
He was recommended by 3 people over the last 2 months before I said, yes, I'd like to try him. And I said to him, I'm like really an early adopter to choose somebody new, like that would touch my body and work on my body because I do this for a living. And I said, but there's still not that human thing that makes me think, wow, I just chose 2 hours and I have no idea what this guy's going to do to my body. And the limiting belief is I don't easily go to somebody new. That could be a limiting belief. It could also be I've been burned, and that's why I have that limiting belief. It doesn't really matter. I can choose to change it or not, now that I'm aware of it. And then maybe I am not as hesitant or quote my word resistant to choosing something or someone new. Because when you choose something new, like we have been lately, there can really feel like your body's about ready to be in a car wreck, or it just had a car wreck is almost what I felt.
Oh yeah.
My whole nervous system just got, And when it does that, my hip and my leg gets mad too. And then I don't sleep well because I can't sleep on my side when it does that. And then it's just this spiraling thing.
Yeah. And
my head goes, dude, I thought this was getting better. Now I'm not sure anymore. And then that just takes you in the other way because you pull in all the past reference points and blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
So the question is, how do we change this? Okay, guys, quick pause. We've got something really close to our hearts to share with you today.
Yeah, that's right. If you've been feeling off or like your energy is scattered or you're just not feeling like you, we got you. We know we both had those days.
Yep. And that's why we've had chakra harmonics created for you by a sound engineer. It's a 7-hour sound healing journey that's truly been a game changer.
Yeah, it's super exciting. It's 7 tracks, each one an hour long, specifically tuned to each chakra. And we're not talking about just relaxing. These are sound frequencies that truly shift things.
Yeah, one of my favorite ways is to use it while I'm reading. I just put them in the background, read my book, and then in a few minutes, I feel really alive and clear.
It's so lovely. And the cool thing is, the whole thing is just $27. No fluff, no hidden fees, nothing like that. Just beautiful, powerful energy that you can come back to use time and time again.
Yeah. So if you're needing a reset, head on over to hautehustle.com/chakra. That's hautehustle.com/chakra and give them a try.
Now back to the show. You have to be able to put yourself in that place of already having it so that you create no separation and really feel it. If you have to make believe it for a little while, cool, do that. And just see, like I said, see that as already done and operate from a place as if I was already. So sometimes, like when we're getting ready for the show, right? And sometimes it's a little bit of, you have to do all the makeup, all the things. The makeup you have to wear for the studio is, these lights are so bright. And every time I put on makeup, regular makeup, but you can't see it on the camera. So I'm always like pounding some more on, probably not necessary, I don't know. But one of the things I always try to make myself remember is that I get to do this. And I always think about what's next. And I imagine myself putting my makeup on for being on Oprah, right? Oh, I got to get dressed and feels like I got to do this again. Like I don't even need to complain about that. I actually enjoy doing makeup, but still.
Yeah, I think that's really what we're talking about, that internal choice.
Yes.
The action may be exactly the same on the outer world. Like I might be at the checkout at World Market and had said nothing to her and just bought the earrings and then, or not bought the earrings.
Maybe you make believe that you were at the dealership and you just got the keys to whatever you want.
I think it's you really paying attention to when you have that.
Yes.
We should name that, those little frequencies that come in that go.
Yes.
It takes your breath away in a way.
One of my mentors called it a beyond, but I don't even think that. I think that words are codes. And I also believe that if you could find the right frequency to name some things and have that awareness, that in and of itself will help release some of that. So when you can sit there and identify, really get in, like really get in, even with naming it, right? Or you can do the same practice that you do in your book with the dragons. But the idea there would be like, okay, now I know that Marcus is here, whatever the name is, right? Not like that, but whatever that frequency is, I know it, I can acknowledge it, and I can hear it out. If it needs some information from me, maybe it's just calling for me to have more information, whatever it is that I'm working on.
I put a piece together from hypnotherapy. We talk a lot about the brainwave state. And when you're in a high vigilant brainwave state, you can't take in new information. So here I am, so stressed out, trying to figure it out, making myself wrong every time a limiting word or belief comes out of my mouth. And that just raises my vigilance. It's like now that I finally had a little rest, it's okay, my vigilant system is here so that I actually can change these things too. So the question is, what does your nervous system need so that you can relax those brainwaves to a place where you can actually make the change?
One of the things that my guides had really pointed out to me was, you think that it was basically humans, you think that you're sitting down to experience meditation so that you can relax that nervous system. And you think that it's closer to sleeping. And it was funny, right? Some journaling and then the voice, and I had a voice recorder. And one of the things they said was, but what you fail to realize is that in the state of meditation, when we say to stop thinking, you are not in the place of where you are emitting your own frequency. And you're always emitting a frequency, but you're not designating the thoughts. Like you are giving space, even if it's just quiet, to allow the universe, to allow your channel, to allow your guides to you don't have to receive nothing, but it's because you shut the hell up that they were able to send some stuff through. You don't even have to know what happens. You are already upgraded. But sometimes when we walk around or we are like, I got to do this, I got to do this. Sometimes you just got to move the space, clear that shelf, so that some new stuff can come in. But they're like, damn, you just walk around with the shelf all full. I can't give you any new knowledge. I can't upgrade you. Even if you won't even notice, but just clearing that space out. And so because we don't do that, like humans just do not do that on a regular. That's the reason why meditation changes your life. It's not necessarily just because it's, oh, you're going to get some relaxed time. No, it is because you need to have your upgrades. You need to have that space.
100% agree.
Yes. And there are many times where I will ask, who's done meditation? I'll be like, oh my gosh, Michael says meditation will change your life. It will change your life if you just meditate. Even if you just did it once a day, day or 3 times a week, even once a week. And then I'll ask the audience or I'll ask the group circle that I'm facilitating, who's done their meditation? No one. Maybe 2 people raise their hand. And I'm like, this is the thing that they say will
Everything.
life.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm asking you to go outside and dig ditches. I'm asking you to
Just sit still. I mean, that's
right now,
where
I
it all
just allow
starts.
something to come in. Like just that moment of
Just
pause. But we don't do that.
Yeah,
and we
stillness.
definitely don't do that with our phones around.
Yeah, social media and stillness. I don't even go to the bathroom without my phone anymore.
I used to be like, man, I used to sit here with my thoughts, just me and my thoughts. Come on. We don't do that. We don't do that. We don't.
Sacred pause. That's a beautiful word for it.
Thank you for that.
In talking about taking this deeper, I just want to show you some of the questions and ways to keep the energy going instead of coming to a conclusion. There's still times when I'll be like, I got it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got most of it, but if you wouldn't just conclude that you got it,
I love that you said that.
you could keep the energy going. Yeah, I feel like what if the energy never came to a stop, right? In no way, unless you really chose that this is not valuable to you and you want to change it. So then, like a limiting belief, that's an energy that could come to a stop, but it would come to a stop because you chose it. What if we could be so present with the universe that we would navigate in each moment and every single word, every single sentence, instead of just like, I'm really good at yapping all over everything in a lot of places.
Myself doesn't even include what goes on in the head.
Control some of that, man.
That's awesome. I'm curious to hear what you think and what your experiences are. Thank you. In TM, so Transcendental Meditation, which is really popular, Katy Perry does it. One of the things that they learned, or one of the things I thought that was super profound, biggest takeaways was if there is an outside distraction, even in QHHT, if I'm taking somebody into a session, one of the things that we say during the induction period is if there are any outside noises, they will not bother you in any way. So we put that into the
suggestion.
Correct.
That's good.
And it works. So
sometimes. Sometimes I can't even.
Well, we had Charlie hanging out and didn't bother you. You still stayed under. And I thought, and my dog was really trying to get into the room.
I tried to meditate 4 times that other night. I was like, I couldn't even hear what I was saying or what Joe Dispenza was saying. I was like, maybe it's just me. I can't receive from myself. Let's listen to some Joe Dispenza meditation. And it would literally be like in space. And I would be like, oh my God, we haven't gotten that done yet. It'd be like, oh my God, I need to make sure I say this.
And this is why meditation changes your life.
Yes. If you can be with it. I think that's why when they came back, this yappy, noisy mind of mine, it was like, dude, I thought I was over this. See, the conclusion.
That is the fallacy right there. Yeah. You just said it yourself. What if and then
I got it, but it'll still keep transforming.
Thank you. So let me talk about the Transcendental Meditation. So one of the things they said was, if something comes in your mind, cool, allow it to be there, think it, and say that you'll come back to it later. Basically, that it was there for a gift and that you can thank it and that you can allow it to leave. You don't want to get mad at yourself for having a thought that comes in. You don't even want to get mad at yourself for having the outside noises. You just allow it to be part of your experience. And so because of that, then you don't get annoyed with it. Because you know how when you get annoyed with something, then it's like you hear it louder. Grace, and you have a level of allowance. It allows you to just let it be. And so what you'll find is the more times you sit down to do your meditation, the less likely that stuff will start happening. You've done tons of meditations that have been successful, and it just so happened you had that day. Fine. Allow it to be with grace. It's just one of those days, and you'll have another couple beautiful meditations. But the fact that you're doing it and sitting down to do it and creating that space, like, first of all, I can hear the guides going, yes. But the second piece is that in and of itself has already provided you the space to get the upgrades. The upgrades that we as humans are naturally supposed to receive through evolvement anyway. Just imagine if so the people that you have around you, and I know we can all probably point to a couple with love, that you're like, if you would just sit down for a little while and just give yourself like meditation, but I know that's easier said than done.
Dana said you can put it in a box and choose to pick it back up.
Yes.
But
Dana, that's where
in
you're
that,
evolving so
in the week,
fast.
over the weekend case, I could not do that. Yes, but I was making myself really wrong.
Yeah, I know. That's the coach's fallacy right there. Yeah, coach's curse is what I call it.
Yeah,
And
and
it's
I
okay.
could not clear my mind.
You're having a human experience. You're teaching other people what you're going to
Yeah,
experience
I just
anyway.
noticed
If you came in all like glowy and one day you were like, oh, I
I'm
got
like in the dark already.
I know we do.
It's really cute.
I got this, and you didn't have any other experiences, I'd be like, yeah, you're not my person. Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't learn from you.
No, I hope this conversation has helped. Do you guys have any other questions that you want us to address while we're just kind of flowing around?
Go ahead.
Is anybody stuck somewhere that wants to process?
Yeah. Oh, you should totally raise your hand. If you're not raising your hand, you should totally raise your hand.
No, I should raise my hand. Dana is raising her hand. And she didn't have her thumb up though, so I don't know if that's a real thing.
Just if you have any question, really.
Yeah. All right, Dana, let's talk.
I'm experiencing some more dense energy
You're up. Go for it.
through my right foot
I can't
again.
hear you.
So I had a whole year of releasing through my feet, really energies to where I couldn't walk for days, some days off and on. And so I thought it was over, but no, this morning I'm having more dense energy releasing through my right foot.
Yeah. I remember that coming up during the summer.
I do too.
It's been since last year, but the most of it's all gone. It's the residuals.
All right, tell me more about it. I feel like there's something that might not be said here, because when I tap into it, it almost feels like I want to say neurology release.
It's on my right side, my masculine. It's right on by the ball of my big toe. So it's my action foot. And
I know exactly what it is.
I know, but I also know that it's also tied to collective energy. It's not just.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Would you ever want to be fully not rid of? If we're always evolving and we are always growing, and sometimes the way in which spirit and this growth gets our attention, not in the worst ways, but it does use bodies. Would you ever want that to truly cease? And you can ask your body to, and you can ask your spirit guides to show you a different way in which you are moving this energy and having this. It's the same piece of the growth from before, but it's also reminding you that you are on this journey. And so just like how Jenna said, like, you can't ever be like, I got it, because then you stop the energy, right? Then you kill it. Does it make sense? Let's just say like you had a noose on the fish, right? And you just let it take you somewhere to some new journeys. That is what this energy is expressing to you. Now, they're also saying to me that this is very much tied with what you know your next steps are. And as it pertains to the masculine energy, not only in yourself, but in your life. So that very much is another piece of it. But it is not the only thing. It is just letting you know that you are on a clear path journey.
I also received too this morning that it's also my body catching up to my light.
True, I can see that for you.
When I tap into it, I'm like, okay, where'd my hands be? Because it literally is just following the moment. It seems like it needs to pull from the front of the foot. Because sometimes with foot stuff or ankle stuff, like it comes from the calf, it comes from the ankle, it comes from the instep. It does seem that you're
same spot for the whole year that it's been going off and on. It was trading feet also.
I remember that.
Yeah, it's not like a spotted injury or anything like that. It's literally a frequency shift.
Yep, it's all energetic.
Yeah. When you ask, what is this? What comes up?
That it is also what I'm about to be stepping into, and it's also residual from the year of all the deep, dense energy shift. Like I rewired my nervous system and just so much happened. So, and so it was just flooding through that way. But I'm just tired of that pain in that spot because it sucks.
So to get release, you may want to look at some of the, like the little foot massagers that kind of do some of that kind of helps that achiness. It's really more about just putting pressure on those pressure points so that it does help to release and helps to like make your mind also feel like a little bit better about it. I also am getting like the image of a cold pack, even though it might be a little bit frustrating.
I got that too.
So you can even get ice and kind of put it on that spot. And basically, it also just wants your attention. Like you got to ask a lot of questions about the energy that wants you, the energy of your body that wants the attention. Have this be the way that I get information? Can we have the information come through like in a channeled writing? But you have to look at that for yourself. You have to really ask the questions. I can't give them to you, but that is what I'm seeing.
But that's funny that you say that because this morning it came up to, hey, why don't you just ask for it to leave in a different way?
Yeah, but it wants your attention first.
It needs to show you something. Yeah.
So I would sit down and ask.
Have you tried ice baths? Just icing all the way up through your knees and.
No, but that sounds really good.
Yeah.
I like cold. It's the inflammation in that spot that is giving the ache. Yeah.
Yeah. So the cold ice is what I was seeing as well.
Because that moves energy in an extreme way.
I'm going to do it after this call today.
Well, let me know for sure.
Yeah. We're a community here, so we want to hear all the feedback we can get from everyone all the time.
Salt bath. I do that often too.
I love that.
This one for sure, though, definitely had the prescription of cold, like cold or ice.
I can feel that too. Like my foot once, like it's pulling.
Yeah. Mine are too now. Oh, that sounds good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Write in on the chat and let us know how that worked out.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. And Deborah, you're up.
Hi, Deborah.
Hi. Man, this is so good to be with you both. I'm trying.
Oh.
I can't see your faces now. I just see me. Oh,
We're smiling.
We're smiling.
See you there. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I just love listening to you about your QHHT, and I've tried to connect with you. It hasn't happened. And then I just left it and moved on. But that's just my question. Can you tell me something in that regard?
Thank you for trying to connect with me about QHHT. I'm sorry that we hadn't, but we will. Absolutely. And then what I'm getting is that you do feel called. There's something there definitely for you in that way. Have you been doing any of the studies or anything like that recently? Familiarizing yourself with the work?
You know what? Just after you, I think a second time, and you sharing about, I got on to Dolores Cannon for the first months ago.
Yes, it's coming together. Yes.
And I listened to her talk about Nostradamus. And then the second time I heard you share, I thought, oh, wait, Jenna, now I get the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotcha. I'm Leonka, so that might be one of the reasons why.
No. Yes, Bianca is what I meant.
No worries.
There.
No worries. Because if you write to us, we usually, this one's for you, this one's for me.
No, I do it with you, Leonka.
Okay.
Yeah, Leonka's trained in QHHT. I'm trained in hypnosis.
Yes, okay. No, it was the QHHT that I was referring to. Thank you for correcting me, Leonka.
No worries. So the reason there is a really good pool for you. Are you familiar with her podcast? They were recorded a long time ago, but you can get them on podcasts. You can listen to anything that she wrote about, some of her lectures on YouTube. I feel like there's really some nuggets in there for you. Also, I'm really getting that there is something around the training. I keep getting the word train, but really not because of, and I don't know if you've ever wanted to do hypnosis on other people or anything like that, but really.
Not heard you. Yeah.
So there's something for you in the case studies, the science behind it all that really speaks to the validity of everything. In other words, it really hits home for you. This is how you can actually believe what you are experiencing is really happening and how change can really happen for you. Okay. So that's really going to help you. I would go and look on YouTube for Dolores Cannon's talk. Make sure it's Dolores Cannon that is talking.
Yeah.
And look for something older, because I don't know about AI generated stuff. Some of it's putting people's voices on top of stuff. So look for anything that's older. She did a lot of stuff in 2017, but there are some really great lectures that I think are really going to hit. Get this in your bones. And then from that place, you'll be like, okay, I can settle. I can give myself grace when I sit down and meditate, and I can know that I am the creator of my universe and of my life.
You wrote it to Jenna by error, but it was you.
Okay.
Okay.
Someone in your past really loves you. And I said, the only thing I know is I just refer to him as my ancient king of gold father.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, that's it. That's it. And then somebody else I had a reading with, and they say, oh, no, that's not it.
And honestly, sometimes there are stuff that people, when you get a reading and it's not really driving for you, tap into that, because you can sit there and you can say, no, I'm not feeling that one. And your body, your mind will let you know that, God, that's not really reading. And you can just say, thank you. And don't let, you don't have to let it in. Not everything that people receive is exactly spot on. That's why you ask questions. And reach out to me. We can connect offline. Just see my email at team@houtehustle.com. I'd love to hear from you. Okay.
Thank you, Deborah. All right, Renee, you're up.
Hello.
Hello.
My question is regarding, I'm having a lot of rapid heartbeat, and it's throughout the day, periodically, and there's multiple possibilities, and I'm wondering if you guys can tune into.
What are you afraid of?
The question?
What are you afraid of? What's the highest thing that
Hold
you're
on.
afraid
Take a breath real quick. Now drop into your heart. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
What are you afraid of? Say the first thing that comes out of your mouth.
Yeah, just say it.
Being homeless.
Okay. So when you go into this frequency of being homeless, how much does that terrify you? So all that frequency is, can you destroy and uncreate? Just for a second, you can bring it back if you want. Okay. So then next, what is the value of this fear? Like, what is why is it good for you to feel this frequency of, oh my gosh, I'm worried, I'm freaking out, kind of fearfulness? Renee.
I'm trying to drop back into my heart because it's not coming in through.
And honestly, you don't have to overthink it.
Motivation?
Yeah.
Are you saying that's correct?
Yes, exactly what I was picking up.
So truth, do you have to be motivated to release this fear?
No.
Do you have to fear being homeless in order to have the motivation to not be homeless?
Yes, that is what it is.
In all honesty.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So
that's coming from, I don't know if it's past or childhood.
Yeah. I got that too.
Yeah, that's a pretty clear read. So then there are steps that are simply just following the question. What can you do with this? Can you change it? And how do you change it?
The fear of being homeless will keep that in place for you.
Actually, I just felt the difference in the energetic vibration of those two comments.
Okay.
Yeah.
One's more loving.
So truth, do you create your life?
Yes.
Okay. So would you create your life as being homeless?
No.
Okay. So everywhere where you're even buying that this fear is real, will you destroy and uncreate it?
My nervous system just calmed down.
I feel like a lot of this is coming through your nervous system. And
Yeah.
you're just wound up in it.
Did you have family members that experienced homelessness?
Or is there a real wrongness within your family about it?
Yeah, I think I grew up with the fear of it just because childhood.
Yeah.
So that fear was always there, especially from my mother. And she grew up in real poverty.
Yep. Yeah.
Like more than what we had.
Yes.
Yeah. She always carried that.
So I was going to ask, who does this belong to?
My body just got chills. It's my mom's.
I know.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that because I have lived there with you in that feeling for so long. I carried my mom's stuff for so long.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
My whole body just got chills. I
And
think my mom just gave me, like, let it go.
Run and ask that question again. If you start getting too funky, like it starts getting funky or feeling weird, first of all, just let your mom's love, the higher power love, not the way anything that you remember, just the way that it comes in.
That's what I'm feeling.
Yes, let that be what carries you. And then ask the question again, who does this belong to?
In a real way, which is harder to ask yourself when you're in a,
Yeah, dropping to my heart really helped me get to the real way. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Write in and let us know how you're doing.
Yeah.
And like I said, we're a community here, so we always want to get the feedback. Let us know in the chat or even if you want to do it personally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, you guys, we have a live event coming up. And we just wanted to talk about it just briefly before we wrap here.
Jenna did a beautiful job of one of the things I was explaining to Jenna is I wanted people to really be able to take this journey, because you can look at a page and say, oh, I'm going to invite you to an event. And then, so we're going to do this at this time and this at this time and agenda. And what I really was explaining to Jenna is, what is it going to feel like when I walk in and I sit with a circle of friends who I've never met before, but yet I feel like they've known me forever. And how is it going to feel like when I sit down next to them and know exactly, man, I was meant to be here. And every fiber of my being is going, oh my gosh, I'm so meant to be here. And then we go through and we start to do some of the practices, and Jennifer's doing body work, and you see how maybe that might be done on your body and how you might take that home, and you start getting ideas. I wanted, and she did this beautifully, more than I could even explain with my broken words.
Lianka can take us through a QHHT session where we experience
as a group,
yes, where we're going to experience these past lives
and have someone actually under at that time. So it'll be really interesting.
Yeah, these lives and the awarenesses around it, and be in a space where you can literally just let it all in, so that when we get to some of the body work and some of the ways so that you know how to work with your body too, you really get an experience of it. I'll show you a couple of the videos in here of some of the work that's happened with some of the work that we've done together, where Lianka's in the background, a lot of work with me, and really been open. But this is where it starts, as we build this field between the universe, me, and her body. And then we just let and work and release these energies through the body, not just through the mind and the that we walk through. It's always been incredibly hard for me to explain how it really works. It just works. And this is, I think she kind of continues having this. She'll have a moment and she'll release, and then sometimes there's even conversation and messaging that happens in between, and then we have to shift the body, and then there'd be other releases. Now, In our event, I expect to do more on a massage table. This was when I was just beginning, but we got some good footage from it. Here I am talking to the class at the same time.
And it's important to note that many times some of our subconscious programming and trauma exist in our body. And I know that we know that from a very high level. My mind knows it, but it is really profound whenever your body is moving on its own, doing these things through the energy. And it's really see how
she could control this, right? If she wanted to, but it's much more delicious when you don't.
right.
Yeah.
And so the energy is moving her through to release this.
So and
these are things it's tougher to do and really meant to be done in person through facilitation.
Right.
Even the QHHT, there's a level that you go that happens in person, being in each other's fields. I promise you, the people that are coming to the live event are absolutely meant to support each other. It's like your souls pick each other and you just know. And you will forever be changed.
Yeah. I feel, and there's other videos on here from some previous work I've done, but take some time, go through the page, see if it's for you. And I'm sure next year we'll have Lianca's QHHT session. We're all laying there going through, oh my God.
Having healings, yeah.
This is where it's at. It's worth you just being in the energy of it.
And it's going to be really intimate, like you see here. It'll actually be at my house, which will be really exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's another session where she hasn't had as much work done. So you can see that she's a little more tense, and it just takes a minute, but she does open. It just give it a look. We really have a direction now with it where we are. In fact, I think I've got these pillars. There's 3 pillars for the experience. And this is really the intention. I'm sure there will be a lot of dragon breathing on the first night.
Paula wants to know, what time does it start on Friday?
Yeah, probably about 3:00. 3:00.
I think you'll find that we are a little more free form, but that is the beauty of this. And there is structure, but that is the beauty of being able to work with.
There's going to be breath work. There's going to be a dragon voyage. There's going to be a QHHT. There's going to be body work. And I think the group's probably small enough that we could probably do all everybody's.
Yeah.
And I think on Sunday, there's going to just be a lot of processing. A little bit of just what's next, what's going to happen when I go home, how can I still be this free around my family and stuff like that.
I know Austin's fun and it's really not hot during that time of year, so it's going to be nice.
I'm going to put the link in the chat.
We'll have some fireside chats and it's a really beautiful time. If you happen to come in a little bit earlier, you're more than welcome to come early to my house. You might have to help us set up, but if you don't mind,
will probably be in the 80s with 70, 80s, wouldn't you think?
So it'll probably be about like 70s, mid 70s. Sometimes I'm wearing shorts all the way up till Christmas, but it seems like a little bit cooler this year already.
It's a little cooler.
Yeah, it'll be nice. I think you'll really find some of the connections that you'll make at this event will change you. Like that alone will be worth it. But to have these transformative energy work done in person is really a gift.
Before the next summit, this price will go up a little bit, and our next summit starts the 13th of October. Just so you know. So if you're going to choose it, it would be now the time to choose it.
So definitely, if you're on the fence, if you have any logistical questions, definitely write me, team@hautehustle.com. It's team@HAUTEHUSTLE.
Other announcements is Mystique is next week.
That's right. For those who are in the inner circle, it will be Wednesday night.
And if you are interested in joining our inner circle, just please email us at team@hautehustle.com.
We've got some really fun things coming up around the summit.
Yep.
So want to make sure that you
have that on your calendar.
Exactly.
It's the 17th of October. And then we won't have another summit until January.
But we'll always have live guests.